I feel like we all should smoke a joint. Not just one of us. Hey, welcome out. God damn it, Todd. Your lack of professionalism is coming across. All right. Ready and action. Hey, everybody, it's Rod, your host here at Speak Fridays. Listen, this is our version of Speak Fridays right now, which we call Speak on the Couch. We're open to suggestions of what we call this thing, the Corona conversations. I don't care, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some amazing guests. I want to say what's up to my co-host, Nikki Nas. Nikki, what's up?
What's up?
You seem very excited to be here. Love the enthusiasm. Today with us, we have none other than comedian extraordinaire. He is.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Live from
Grooms.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Live from quarantine. I forgot we have to speak one at a time. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. And we also have with us today my man, Stephen St. James, one of my favorite poets from down here in the Miami area. I love the shirt, Stephen. Going old school.
Thank you.
For the Speak Miami. What's up?
Yeah, man. I was like, wait a second. Speak podcast? No, you gotta rock the Speak shirt for sure. The old school one, the no egos, man.
Nice.
It has the no egos on the back?
I think this is the one. Hold on, yeah, it does.
Oh, no
wow,
egos.
that's a collector's item.
No egos, that's
Vintage. Vintage.
Yeah. Wow, I got one, but mine got an ego.
Listen, it's going to be worth something one day. It's probably going to be worth what you paid for it, but that's good. Trading value is good. All right, so listen, let's get rocking and rolling. A lot happened this week. I mean, we had. Did you guys see the news where a tiger caught the coronavirus?
That's wild. Up in New York, right in the Brooklyn, Bronx. Where was it?
In the Bronx, too, I think. A tiger. So this, and help me out. Help me to understand this. If a tiger caught coronavirus and we're doing all this social distancing, like who is 3 feet away from a tiger?
They're already social. They're like in a little thing. Who's in there with them? I don't understand.
Yeah, right.
Listen,
the man or woman that was feeding the tiger.
Yeah,
maybe
they need to get that person.
Maybe somebody gave it to a roach. They gave it to a rat. They gave it to a cat. They gave it to the tiger.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Yeah.
I think this just goes to show that you probably shouldn't eat meat right now. This is the vegetarian vegan time because tigers eat meat. Maybe that's the only way that they get interaction.
I mean, what didn't we get it because someone in China ate a bat or something like that? No.
Hey, the Chinese side of me finds that very offensive.
Why? That's has nothing to do with you being Chinese. It's just where it originated.
If
you were to tell me it happened in Uruguay, I would be like, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Listen, allegedly.
Getting a little defensive here.
Yeah.
Well,
if it happened in Hialeah, I'd say it happened in Hialeah. You know what I mean? Or
but nobody in the Hialeah is eating bats.
Or Jersey.
Maybe.
I don't think saying it happened in China is offensive. I think the bat part is a little offensive.
That was along the grapevine. The story went on and told.
Well, let's talk about some stuff that was in the.
It actually wasn't a bat. It was a bat. It wasn't a bat. It was It was like an armadillo. That armadillo-looking thing.
Rumors.
Really?
Rumors.
Who knows?
There's also a rumor that this thing was invented in a lab as like a chemical thing.
Yeah.
I thought tigers started it, but now that they had it, they were calling the whole thing off. The news has gone down.
This is to make everyone watch Tiger King.
Exactly. Yeah, the apex has dropped ever since the tiger thing. So I don't know.
So let's talk a little bit about Tiger King. I mean, Joe Exotic. Who's watching that? First of all,
I already watched it.
You haven't seen it?
No, everybody keeps telling me to, and I got people that are like, "Yo, you don't want to watch it," and then once you do, you can't stop. And just I haven't done it yet.
I mean, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what? I started watching it. I'll be honest with you. I got sucked in, but then that thing had more twists than a little bit, and I think I stopped watching it because I heard my brain cells starting to pop, so I turned it off. I just couldn't anymore.
I just thought it was interesting though. It was just like a look into a different lifestyle. Like there are people. I mean, it was roguish. They were roguish as hell, but it's kind of just interesting, you know. I mean, Speak is about diversity. Those are diversity. You know what I mean? It was just roguish as hell, you know.
Yo, Rob, how many times does that get thrown into your face?
What, that Speak is roguish?
Hey, Speak is about diversity, dude. Speak is about diversity, man.
And that sounds like a cop-out more than anything else.
No, but to me, aside from like the backstabbing and all that other goofy shit, but you can't tell me you weren't entertained. Just like, it was just interesting. Like, what?
I said this last episode. I could not believe that this guy ran for president. I had never heard of him before, and he was running for president against Trump and Hillary.
But you see, Nikki, that's where I started to check out, because I caught myself saying stupid stuff like, this is amazing. Like, anybody could run for president, and anybody could win this presidency. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm out. And then I was like, wait a minute. The president that we have now, I wonder how he would compare to, like, you know, Joe Exotic as president. Like, it couldn't be much worse.
Yeah.
Well, the only difference is you'd probably see tigers like at the White House all of the time, and he would like walk down the street just holding them. But again,
you get a tiger, you get a tiger, you get a tiger.
Well, if we're getting tigers,
no. Anyway, anything else in the news that caught you guys' attention?
Well, I mean, this week was like a pretty religious week. I mean, we had Passover last night, Easter's coming, Good Friday and Easter this weekend. And obviously, we're all in this situation. So there's a lot of loved ones that had to either cancel the holidays, or and just a lot of people were doing it virtually, like a lot of Zoom meetings and stuff. Yeah. Just kind of like makes the whole thing seem so surreal, you know?
Yeah. You guys have any plans? Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I said, I was asking if she was Catholic. Are you Catholic?
Me, I'm not religious, but my dad's side of the family's Jewish, my mom's side of the family's Catholic. So I have like both religions this week.
Oh, wow. I totally forgot that it was, I'm like, I know it's Good Friday and Easter, but it was like, I didn't know about all the, It's just, it's like a super huge, it's like a big week of like religion where a lot of families would come together, fly in and see each other, visit each other. And obviously that's not what's happening right now. So that was something that kind of caught my attention this week. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got it.
You know, something that I've always been critical about, has been, and even at the show, I talk about it all the time, that we are being outpaced by technology and we need to keep up with technology. And I poo-poo on technology a little bit, but let me tell you, man, technology has been a blessing during this time. It's allowed us to kind of stay connected. You know, case in point, this chat right here. You know, I haven't seen Kyle, I haven't seen Steven or Nikki, in a long time. So being able to put the face and the voice, and it makes a difference.
It's like the one thing that usually, sorry.
Oh, no,
I was gonna say the one thing that disconnects us the most is the one thing bringing us more together than ever right now.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't last. I hope we get back. I hope it doesn't become normal, like the norm. We get so used to it. It's like, okay. Well,
all right. We get out of this. It's going to be the Roaring 20s all over again.
Word. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Facts.
As long as it's not like
legalize marijuana right now too,
Oh, I mean, who's going to stop you right now?
Yeah.
Speaking, that's a great segue into something else I saw in the news this week. Marijuana use was up the most it's ever been in the month of March, as Kyle lights a cigarette.
I'm telling you, my delivery guy has been an essential worker, man. This dude, you know what I mean? They're out there doing it for the people. I'm at home two kids, man. You know, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. So
you need it.
I'm catching hell, right? You see, I'm outside now because I can't be in the house because there's no quiet place. It comes through the walls, you know. But yeah,
well, you gotta do what you gotta do to, keep your head on, keep sane during those times for sure. Anybody else doing a bunch of workouts?
I am. You know that.
I actually have to do a P90X on the TV. I've been working out.
That's awesome. Steven, you said you've been working out too?
Yeah, man. Me and the wife, we just go on like these really long walks, like 3-mile walks.
I was just say something else. I'm like, what? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Me and the wife been working out. We've been working out.
Different workout. Yeah, we can't talk about that here. That's
long walk.
No, by the way, this being off mute for everybody is making Jack's life miserable right now. We're laughing, but Jack's is like, post-production is a nightmare.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because you have to.
Sorry, Jack. We'll clean it up. Okay, guys, order. Let's get back on track.
When you walk, do you walk with mask on, or are you? Do you guys have masks when you walk, or is it like?
Yeah, we own masks, but we've been doing the no mask walk and the no glove walk. I know, yeah, it freaks some people out.
Raw dog? You guys are raw dogging outside?
Yeah, we're raw dogging it outside.
Unbelievable.
Just me and my wife raw dogging it in the middle of the road. It's crazy. You got some people that are out there that are like in like full hazmat suits. And I'm like, no, this is Miami weather. I'm not going to be doing that. That's crazy. But I know there's a lot of, up and down right now about whether it's transmitted in the air or not. We've been,
there's no up and down with that. It is transmitted in the air. There's no.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like, okay, but like if somebody walks by on the sidewalk and then 15 minutes later I pass that same spot, like me contracting it from there, like if that's how it works, that's how it works. But we've been so lucky so far.
So
we just don't know. That's the thing. There's just so much that we don't know, and then we think we know, and then we don't know, but then we find something out, but then we find something else out after.
Exactly.
So it's just like.
Could be coming from eye contact.
Didn't they make a movie like that? What's your name?
That was sound.
No. And then I found out.
There was a slight one.
And then I found out, first I heard the dogs can't have it. Then I heard that dogs can have it. I've been like freaking out about my dog because I walk my dog. I usually don't let anyone pet my dog, but like I don't know what my dog is sniffing or stepping on.
Right.
I wouldn't worry too much about dogs. If you had a tiger, I'd worry.
Yeah, if you're tiger.
If a tiger can get it and a dog can't, then we really need to examine and do some scientific research on these dogs. Okay.
Wait, you guys don't have tigers? Just checking.
Who doesn't have a tiger, bro?
That's what I thought. Okay, well, Nicole didn't have a tiger. I was confused.
I have a dog. My dog looks like a cat.
Dude, if you need a tiger, I know somebody. Just hit up Carol Baskin. She'll take care of you. So Steven, talk to me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about your poetry. What are your influences?
Oh my gosh. Any and everybody that I get my hands on or my eyes on to read or to listen to, like a spoken word for sure. I started writing when I was really young, like 6th grade or something ridiculous. I remember because I wrote a poem and I think it was like, the title was like super cheesy, like My Dream Girl or something like that. And I remember my mom finding it and being like, "You're too young to be feeling this way," and like throwing it away in the trash and stuff like that. So I had a raging erection. It wasn't like that. It was not about raw dogging it in the street in 6th grade. That's not what it was about. Yeah, no. But whatever, cheesy emotion. Everybody, those of you who know my poetry know that I do a lot of romance stuff. So it was something up that alley. And so I remember writing really young, and I didn't have influencers back then, but the older I've gotten, the more I've read. So like Dickinson's one of my favorite, and I really like Bukowski, and those are like so polar opposite. You have like Dickinson, who's like kind of like ethereal and like wants to make everything within rhyme and scheme. And it's like, you know, these like shorter poems sometimes. And it just feels different than like Bukowski, who's very free form. And I saw this outside of my window down the street and this is what I was feeling and so on and so forth. And so I pull from everywhere. And I'll never forget my first experience with spoken word poetry was online with George Watsky. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Watsky before. If you get an opportunity, I would definitely check it out. George Watsky. He started with doing a lot of poetry stuff, and now he's into like rap, and he does a bunch of like different type of hip hop style and everything. But the guy is just like a lyrical genius, and it's amazing to see what people do with words and how they can create with it. And it's always inspired me and always made me want to try to do the same.
What's his name? I'm sorry. What's his name?
George Watsky.
Is he contemporary? Is he like old school? What era was he in?
No, he's current. He's modern.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay, dope. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you propose to your wife with a poem?
I did not propose with a poem. That's a different story. I proposed in a movie theater. But I...
In a movie theater? What kind of movie theater?
Sunset movie theater. I'll do that one first. So we went to the movies and I was like, oh, we're getting a special screening of Star Wars. It was like 3 years ago when the Star Wars movie was coming out. And when we walked in, it was like the banner, the digital banner above the door had like our initials and stuff instead of like a movie title. And when we walked in and there was nobody else in the theater, it was just us. And then a video slideshow. I studied film in college. So a video slideshow that I created was up there of like us and all that stuff. And afterwards I proposed and she said, how did you get the box to light up? And then everybody came out and it was a huge celebration. But no, I did not.
Say yes? Did she say yes before she asked about the box?
No, she asked about the box first and then said yes later.
Wow. No wonder y'all box. Raw dog. That was beautiful, man.
Yeah, thank you. But I did ask her out with a poem way back in the day, 10 years ago.
That's one talent that I wish, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for poets, the way they can string together words. And like you said, they have a, great impact, you could start a war with words. You could end the war with words. It's like words have a lot of power, man. So let me ask you a question. What's been the toughest part of this quarantine for you, Steven?
Oh man, toughest part for me. As much as I try to play off that I'm not social and that I'm introverted and that I want to be home all the time, which don't get me wrong, I do like. I love solitude. I like to be able to just read and write or play video games or whatever. I do miss the social aspect, man. I miss being out there, seeing not only the people that I know, but meeting new people. We were joking earlier about diversity and stuff like that, but without getting to meet new people and have new stories and new experiences and stuff, it's tough as a writer to fuel this energy. You know what I mean? So, and I've always been a performer at heart. So I love being in front of people, like just what we're doing now, like being with a group of people and getting to talk and converse and stuff. I love that. And so it's been tough not doing that or not having that naturally.
Let me tell you, that's a great answer. And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way you just described. I've had the pleasure and the honor of hanging around and being around a lot of talented people over the, years. And that's the first thing that I thought of. I was like, look, knowing comedians, knowing poets and musicians the way that I do, the stage is like oxygen. The stage is life. The stage is where they work stuff out that's going on mentally, emotionally, physically. It's therapy. It's everything. So, Kyle, how are you handling not being able to go on stage?
Right now, you're just gathering material. Like this event is a bit like everyone's feeling it. So we all are going to need voices who are going to be able to express it. Hopefully, once we get back to the stage. Now, I'm feeling gatherings maybe change a little bit. Like if people aren't going to be wanting to go to stand up. I don't know if it's going to shift that where people aren't going to want to go see live stand up. I don't know, Yeah. But right now it's like we live through so many events. Like me, I'm 50. So it's like I remember, it's like I lived through 9/11. You lived through this. Oh, it's like I was pre-internet, so now it's internet. Now this is just a whole nother of a life experience that we're all feeling, that we could all create. It sparks creativity, I think. But it's just we don't have a place to work it out. But we're silent now. We're like quiet. It's, I don't know. I'm smoking weed.
Taking a look.
I was gonna say.
It's like now I could, you could gather ingredients, and then once you get back to the stage, hopefully we'll all be ready to cook. It's
right.
Like it's like how it's like you take a break and you're like, once I get back, I've gotten so much. You got rest. You've gotten your mind at peace. You've been centered, and now when the bars open back up, and I think we'll be more peaceful and more appreciative of each other. I hope.
Oh, for sure.
I hope that we'll have we'll be, because I used to always say, we always complain that people, but if you went places and there was no one there, you'd be like, oh, this sucks. But then you shit on people when you talk about them when they're here. Look at this motherfucker. Now you instead of being grateful that they're there, okay, I'll stop. But yeah, that's what I mean.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It reminded me of, listen, I don't know if you guys were here for Hurricane Andrew here in Miami. And what jumped out at me is before Hurricane Andrew hit, everybody was running around in their typical Miami fashion, looking out for number one and grabbing everything off the shelf. And I was in the ground zero of that, like down my country walk. And the day after it hit, it was like a war zone. And I've never seen so many people be so cordial and humane and just, they were like, no, you go first. No, please, you go first. No, let me lift that up for you. No, very, very coming together. That lasted like a week. And then it just went back to, Miami as usual.
Yeah.
And I hope so.
I definitely don't recall Andrew. I was like a year old.
I was 1.
Yeah. You were 1. You were 1 too. Wow.
Wait, say it again. When what happened? I missed that.
The old years.
1991. August 24th, 1991. Hurricane Andrew hit.
Holy cow. I was worried about my house.
Even 1, actually. I hadn't even turned 1 yet. But I know I was in the closet.
I was asleep in the closet, is the story that I'm told.
Same.
Wow.
So. Same closet. That's the crazy thing. Same closet.
They just threw babies in the closet.
Community closet. Here, protect them.
That's exactly what we did too, because I remember my niece and nephew, we threw them in the closet and we were holding stuff over the windows.
Babies in the closet.
We had those homemade shutters, the plywood from Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. We had a mat that was covered.
Hurricane Andrew took that off in 3 seconds. All right, listen. Let's get back on track. Stephen, I really would like to hear some poetry from you. Do you have something that you could kind of deliver for us?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you guys a preview of some of my new stuff. This poem is one that I wrote a while ago, but I was kind of out of the game for a little while and have gotten back into performing, and I'm working on a second EP right now. And this is one of the pieces that I've been doing live, and that's going to be on that EP soon. It's called Little Miss Everlasting. It's like one of my favorite pieces that I have right now. So I wanted to do some of that for you guys today. So here we go.
Kick it.
If stars could tell secrets, you and me would go to every single one of them and beg them to keep them. You see, life is defined by moments like this. Moments that are long gone, but I still find myself licking my lips trying to retaste every single kiss. And I've never really been a fan of rushing, but something about car talk and music play make for one hell of a good day. Like she must know every single thing about me. I think I'm starting to know everything about her too. Almost like we've known each other somewhere far off, where we weren't just 2 1s, but 1 2. And what's really driving me crazy is that she produces so much poetry and yet proves it wrong constantly. telling me things like whether we're compatible or not due to the power of her glimmer glamour astronomy. And maybe she's right. I mean, what do I know? Before this moment, I had never even imagined it to be so. And now everything I thought I knew has changed. We connect on every single level. You see, pursuits of sin, but I know good and well that I'm the devil, pitchfork and all. I was never an angel before this moment, but now in this moment, I have definitely had a fall. And listen, the sound of pitter patter of raindrops on the hood of her car is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And I know it sounds crazy and maybe even a little absurd, but even my senses were different. And if you've ever been in a moment like this, you know it's not just momentary, but it's now forevermore and has been pre-existent. I wanted nothing else but to leave everything else behind and just live within it. And she told me she was going crazy. And I said, this has to be a dream. She said I was definitely someone that she could love and run away with. So I went and said, let's grab our keys. We'll go somewhere far. So far so that for those who know us, we would be nothing more than a myth. And if we ever got stopped and questioned on our perfections, girl, we'll just plead the fifth and we'll never get caught. And shrouded in the mystery of our once having existed, we'll live lives better than we had ever lived before, once true, and now just some confused, tangled up lore. And she told me she wanted to hear poetry. Poetry. You know, I didn't think about it then, but looking back, I know now that I should have said something like love isn't comfortable. So get out of your comfort zone. Only those who take chances get to truly be romantic. You see, there's this darkness inside of us, and I want to set it free so that we could see who we would be if we let our capacity for love only consist of you and me. And even if you never spoke to me again, I would still be happy because you've created in me a never-ending trend, one that I will never forget because it fills me with hope where I used to have regret, and I pray it never leaves me because it completely and utterly relieves me. And so I'll always refer back to this moment and continue basking because to me, you will always be my little miss everlasting. And then there's some more, but you'll have to come to the show or something for that.
Wow, that was awesome, man. Hey, round of applause for Steven. Same thing. You know what I dig about your style? It's not only the words. You are all invested. You're invested in the poem. Like you're telling the poetry, and the cadence, the mannerism, everything. You're acting out. And it draws me in as an audience member, right? I know, Nikki, you probably need to take a little break now, right? Or are you all right? You good?
I need to take a break.
I'm just messing with you.
No, I agree though. I like the fact like you're acting, you're playing the part. That makes it like way more moving too. You know, like it's a story. You're telling like we're falling into the story. It was good. It was really good.
For sure. I mean, when I do this, the idea is always that you guys should feel like you're there in the moment that's being written about or imagined about or whatever it might be. When I went to open mics when I was younger, I saw people get up and do like a lot of reading or reciting and stuff like that. And this isn't anything against anybody, but for me personally, I didn't like when things were just recited, and it was just I have it here just to have it here. For me, I was always like, if I go do it, I want to do it in a way that puts you in that moment, has you live it just like I lived it.
That's why I could never do poetry quite the same way you do it, because I couldn't remember all those damn words. Like, it's just impossible for me. I'd be like talking, yeah. Anyway, Steven, you're awesome. You want to give anybody a shout out or where they can find your work or you or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to check out any more of my written work, or I put up some spoken word videos every once in a while, I would check out my Instagram. My Instagram is @SaintPoetry. So it's 2 S's in the front, @SaintPoetry. And if you want to check out my EP, it's on Apple Music, on Spotify and all that. I got 6 tracks on the first EP, and I'm working on a new one right now. It's called Excuse Me by Stephen James.
Awesome. Always a pleasure, man. And stick around. We're going to talk to Kyle a little bit. But before we do, we want to transition to a new segment of the show. We have some sponsors now. We want to recognize them. And Nikki, this is your part of the show. We're going to go through your 5 health tips, keeping you healthy and safe during Corona. So Nikki, take it away.
5 health tips of the week. Because obviously right now, more important than ever, we need to be watching our health. So one of my health tips, number 1, I definitely suggest every morning, first thing in the morning, I heat up water and I drink it with some lemon or lemon oil if you want. But I heat it up with lemon that cleanses your GI tract, and it's very detoxing. Number 2, since we are in quarantine, it's really easy to kind of like lose track of like the time and the day. So try to create some sort of routine for yourself to kind of like, you know, mentally healthy as well, not just about like what you're intaking, but like keeping that mental health as well. Number 3, super important. I don't think anyone thinks of this. Disinfect your phones. We don't realize how much we touch our phones. The second you walk out, to walk your dog, to go for a walk, to take the trash out, whatever the case is, none of us are aware of the fact that we touch our phones a lot, and a lot of bacteria could stay on the phone. So please be mindful. This is my suggestion. Disinfect your phones, guys, because I don't think anyone thinks about that. 4, daily vitamins. I take supplements, including to eating healthy. If you guys can get your vitamins through natural sources, juicing, whatever, I'm all for it. If not, take your vitamins. I suggest right now, like at least like 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Take and do it in separate dosages because your body can only take in X amount of nutrients per sitting. So spread it out throughout the day. Vitamin C, magnesium, zinc, all really good for your immune system. And then number 5, if you guys aren't familiar with essential oils, I suggest that you guys use essential oils. Oregano oil is really good for immune system, and like the On Guard oil, I sent some over to Rob. He should be getting it soon. It's a protective blend. It's a really good protective blend. It's like made with clove, rosemary, cinnamon bark, a huge blend, and it's really good. I have that with my tea every morning with the lemon. So those are my 5 for this week.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. You know, great tips. I do some of them, not all of them. And I can't wait for my protective blend. Can't be too protective nowadays. You know what I mean?
So, On Guard, it's honestly the best.
I got another tip too. Like when you touch the elevator button, do it with your knuckle instead of your finger.
I do it with my elbow. Like everything's elbow now.
Oh, stairs are behind. I just take the stairs.
Or just take a key. Poke it with your key.
Oh yeah, you poke it. Do it fast.
Hey, right now more than ever, we gotta be healthier than ever.
That's true.
The one thing that we have, the only thing we have right now is our immune system. That's the only defense we have right now.
And the internet.
And food that are alkaline. You feel me?
That's next week. I'm gonna bring that up next week.
Okay.
There you go.
You're jumping ahead of me here.
You feel me? That's like you know what I mean?
All right, so Kyle, I got some questions for you, man.
That's a lot. Anyway,
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Gotta stay connected or get connected.
Whomever you fuck with. Anyway.
That's right. I fuck with God. Yeah. All right, so Kyle, I got some really tough questions for you. And here we go. So
police?
No police questions. So speaking of God or, you know, a higher power, if say reincarnate, play along for a minute. Say if reincarnation was a real thing, and we had a choice of what or who we come back as, what would that be for you?
What or who?
Yeah.
Oh man, a who could be a lot of people, but a what? I know a what. I'd come back as a lion if I had to be an animal. You know,
a lion.
Because I was
not a tiger.
Nah. Tigers get corona. They susceptible. They are mixed. They mixed breed. So they they don't know what they want to be. You know. Stripes. No offense, Rob. But
hey man.
But I'm saying,
you know, the white side of me took offense to that, by the way.
Too much diversity.
But yeah, you know, because I was in the zoo one time and a lion roared and the whole zoo stopped. They were like, it was like everyone was like, and my girl was looking at the lion like, you know what I mean? Like this lion could take my girl. You know what I mean? I'm like, so I was like, yeah, if I would, I'd be a lion. You know, because what happened? It was feeding time, and you know, the female lions were fighting over a rabbit, and the male lion went, oh!
And everybody stopped.
All that shit down. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good answer. Is a lion also your spirit animal, or do you have another spirit animal?
Well, it's not my zodiac. My zodiac sign is a Cancer. I'm a crab. That means I'm hard on the outside and soft on the inside.
All right. So next question. Next question I got for you. If you were guaranteed that you couldn't fail at something, what would that something be for you?
Stand-up comedy, shit, performance, laughing, telling jokes. Because I've invested my whole life into this, and I've like swam out in the ocean. I can't go back now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been okay. I've stayed afloat.
No, you've done better than okay. Don't be modest.
You want to hit land where you're like, hey, and you're like getting, man.
But what does that look like? What does that look like for you? Like, when do you say, I've made it? I've made it in comedy.
When I don't have to do comedy. When I don't have to. Yeah, like if I right now, I mean, I'm good for a few months, but I can't go. The rest of my life is not set. What I have now, I can't live. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So some financial security or
financial freedom.
If I had a brain surgery last year and I almost lost everything, so I wouldn't have been set for life. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I could get set for life, and comedy is hard to do, but you
love
okay.
it.
Yeah, I love it, and you do okay. I live, I eat, I pay my bills, but it's like, there's levels to this shit. As they always say, it's a hack.
All right, so I have a question now. If you could smoke a joint with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, man. I wouldn't mind smoking a joint. Oh, that's a lie. I wouldn't mind. Jesus to see if he's real. See, just to be official, so I know. I'd be like, okay, I see, I get it, all right. Yeah, I go tell others,
I spread the word.
Yeah, I spread the word, See with my eyes, bro.
That was a good one.
Oh, sorry, I keep messing up. Don't hate me, Doc.
So, out of backwoods. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So let me. Well, you ever played F, Marry, Kill?
A few times, yeah.
Okay, so I got one for you. F, Marry, Kill. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, or Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, man. That's fucked up. I'll kill Hillary Clinton. I don't like some of the shit. I don't know. I don't know if it's rumor or not, but she did crazy, grimy shit in the 80s. She just looked like, who she reminded me of? The chick on Tiger King.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin. That bitch has got a Carol Baskin personality, yo.
That girl got so famous. America's enemy.
Tell me Hillary Clinton and Carol Baskin lost cousin or some shit. They from around the same area. They got the same energy. Right? They got the same energy. But anyway. And who would I fuck? Oh yeah,
you got Nancy Pelosi and you got
Nancy
Elizabeth
Pelosi.
Warren.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, I'd fuck Elizabeth Warren and marry Nancy Pelosi, because once you get married, you ain't fucking no more. So yeah. And she got money, she got bread, she got the lifestyle I just explained to you that I need for a comedian. She's got money, you know what I mean?
She completes you.
She completes. Trying to make it,
very,
you know?
that was very strategic.
Yeah, you know.
that was too easy. That question was way too easy.
Very strategic.
A little sexy, a little bit more in my range, you know.
Okay, I got another. Let's stay on that. F, marry, kill. This for the whole group. Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic, or Donald Trump?
I kill all of them.
Oh man.
Why do you do this?
Yeah, I don't want an answer for that one. That's terrible. That's terrible. Nikki, you got any other questions?
Trump has the money. I was trying to do the same strategic thought process that you did here.
Yeah, I got it. He's got the money to live the lifestyle I want to live.
Got it.
So does Carol Baskin, though.
But no, she doesn't have Trump money, though.
She don't have Trump money.
You don't have
Trump's got that government money now. Yeah, Trump. You saw in the news, he fired
Trump
the guy.
Russian money.
It's crazy. At what point does a country, does a nation kind of say, all right, you know what? This is enough. This dysfunction is enough. We got to do something.
I don't know.
Can you F, marry, and kill the same person? Can we do the same thing to Trump? All three to Trump?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm sure his current wife is probably looking into that too.
I don't know if the country can, though. I don't know if the country is going to do anything. None of us know are really that informed. We're all going on hearsay. You know what I mean? Most of us are going on hearsay. And we're getting our sources from everywhere. So there's no real so when the people don't know, it's like, I mean, it's nowhere to react. You're kind of lame. You're left sitting there in your house, quarantined. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you act? You know, the police are there. You know, it could be, yeah.
So let's bring it back down to earth, though, because we're way up here. No. Let's bring it back down to it's totally different topic. Let's go back to the comedy genre. All right. So over the years, I've met a lot of comedians and a lot of guys that call themselves comedians, but there's no school. Well, there are schools, but there's no degree that, you say, hey, you're now a comedian. So what separates, the good from the not so good, the guys that are still working on stuff, and what, like, how do you feel about this? Like, you'd be on par, is it a big deal that your title is a comedian and basically, guys off the street that aren't at your level can call themselves comedian too and apply for the same stuff?
No, because once you say you're a comedian, you get on stage and you do it, then you're a comedian. So it's like we all walk in through the same door, you know what I mean? But it's like your skill will let you know what level, you know what I mean? It's like, or where you are, it's like we all play football, but at some point you either play it and survive, or you play it and, you get whatever your contract. I mean, comedy is more a bigger opportunity. But it's like you can do it and you can say you are what you are, but you have to be able to make a living. As long as you can feed yourself and do it, your lane is your lane. Your journey is your journey. If you're not funny today, don't mean you're going to be funny next week or two, or not find success. So, people find themselves through that journey. I can't tell you not to. Oh, you ain't. Because you ain't.
I think that's fair.
You ain't been validated by the TV networks. No.
Funny is funny, and
and people see it. People will see it, and they be like, "Hey, you, I like you." Boom, boom, and you gravitate towards it. That's flame, that fire. People feel it. Mm-hmm. They know it's real, especially if you're a comic.
Yeah.
People,
How much emphasis is? How much? Like preparation versus improvisation. How much weight do you put on either?
I try to be more improv-y, but I know my act and I know my shit. But I hope to, like, the goal would be just be up there and just be whoop whoop off the top of your dome, freestyling, because that's your, I know my nature. But then when you're in the audience, it's just a different. That if you can get to that, that's where I'm trying to get as a comic. But for now, I know my act. I know it's funny. I can rely on that. But for me to try to find the real moments, like to just go up and talk about a subject and just rip off the top. I mean, that's what I think. You can do it or not, but you're always trying to get deeper, more of that real comedy shit.
So you've done a lot of really meaningful projects, and you're up there. We have a lot of admiration for you and what you've done. What are there any projects that you have currently that you want to plug, or you have coming out you want to plug, or?
I mentioned earlier I had a seizure last year and I had brain surgery for a tumor, and it was March, second week of March of last year, and 2019, and then I did a special on it, and kind of like a documented my way back towards recovery and everything. And now, it's coming out on Amazon. Hopefully this week. We already upload. We put it up and should be any day now on Amazon.
That's awesome, man.
It's called Brain Humor.
Where was it? Brain Humor?
Yeah, it's called Brain Humor. Yeah, it's not a brain tumor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's awesome, man, and we're so happy to see that you're fully back 100% doing your thing and back in the thick of it, man, and gathering material now and putting out work, so when you do come out with that, we'll be happy to post that up on our sites too. Steven, same thing for you, man. Whatever you have, this is a platform this is us, we're building this from scratch, so we want to really show and extend whatever resources we have at Speak to folks like yourselves, so we'll be happy to put that out to our folks that follow us, and whatever we can do to help. Anyway, guys, any last remarks from you guys around the table, because we're going to wrap this up, but I think this was a good, productive session.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for having us. Me and my wife were just talking about this recently, actually, how it's interesting to see during a time like this where, there's less notice going out to superstars and big time actors and all the talk shows and all that stuff, because they're not happening. Sports isn't happening. And right now, a lot of people are turning to platforms like this or your social media to get with your comedians, to get with your singers, to get with your poets, to get with your artists and stuff like that. And that's where all of that connection is being fueled right now, aside from, video calling the family or the friends and stuff. So I want to thank you guys as always, and Kyle and Nicole and Rob for putting this together, man. It's a great thing to be a part of. And I'm happy to see that, when the world seems like it's falling apart, these are the things that we're putting together.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me speak to some adults for a few minutes.
I bet you're building a lot of content right now. Staying at home with the kids.
Yeah, I'm building content and crayons and chocolate milk and all kinds of crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. But that's the stuff, man. That's the stuff. I tell my kids, listen, this material stuff is material stuff is material stuff. Right now, it's like all we have is our health, ourselves, our loved ones, and we want to protect that at all costs. And so Steven, stop raw dogging it outside on the road. Please. We're trying to keep you safe and healthy, you and your wife, your lovely wife. Nikki, thank you so much. You're lovely as always. Thanks for the health tips.
Thank you, guys.
Kyle, always a pleasure, man.
I'm not lovely as always.
Yeah. Hey, Nikki, I got one for you. Nikki. F, marry, kill out of the three guys on the screen. All right, we're going to close it there. We're going to wrap it there. Peace, guys. We love you. Hey, we'll see you online DM anything to Speak Fridays. Email us at speakfridays@gmail. We'll be on YouTube. We'll have everything online. We'll see you online. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
All right, see you.